it is Court in Session with me, Al, and my esteemed co-host, that is Beijing Scout, Alan Pinder, and Avenger Only One, Keelan Phillips. Keelan, knowing you're in the new hairdo, let's talk about the East. I noticed that there was a report from Sham saying that Franz Wagner is now out with the same injury as Banquero. Now, what are the odds that two players from the same team have the same injury?
At the same time.
Well, more or less.
Roughly, more or less, yeah.
Yeah, more or less. What do you think about that?
I thought it was a typo. I thought that when it came across, I thought it was France. So there's no way that gotta be a typo. That it actually is pretty
actually,
crazy.
actually, quickly, it is actually quite common, it seems, because both of Indiana Pacers' backup centers popped their Achilles tendon.
But wow, so people just get injuries
early
and appears. So people just get
in the
injuries
first
and appears.
in the first couple weeks in the season,
That's
both of them
crazy.
lost their Achilles. So these things seem to become serious now.
Yeah, still, because as much as you said that still in itself is crazy. Like and we were talking about, I think last week or maybe the weekend prior, we were talking about how the Magic were doing so good even without Paulo, right? Good thing that they kind of won some games, so it kind of gives them a little cushion if they do drop games before Paulo comes back. Because obviously it's been a couple weeks since he's been out. He's gonna come back first. Um, it's a shame because France was playing very well. He was really setting up a easy, in my opinion, all-star berth. It's still possible. Obviously, if he misses all of December and a little bit of January, he might still be able to like be an all-star. But right now, the East All Stars is looking like the Cavs and the Celtics. Just them. Looking like it's just them and the practice
And the
squad up
Knicks.
here. And the Knicks. Like it's gonna be three teams. I think Jalen Suggs is averaging 16 points a game for them, so he's gonna have to step up. I know it's gonna be a difficult role, know him being the main guy, but as I said, if they go say in their next, let me say 6 games. If they go 3-3, 2-4, that honestly wouldn't even be that bad, right? Considering that they think 17-9. So it's unfortunate. Hopefully he can come back, and Paulo can also come back and see what this team really looks like.
Yeah, it's interesting. What about you, Alan? What do you think? You plan to
Yeah,
start
definitely a
look
very
at the
tough grade.
you plan to start look at the physiotherapist?
Well, it's tough. That's an odd injury to have. I mean, I said the Indiana situation was kind of odd too, to have two Achilles tears back to
Yeah.
back. So yeah, to have these as well is kind of strange. But yeah, as Keelan said, they played extremely well with Paulo out. I didn't expect that, but Franz really rose to the task and he was excellent during that period of time. Put himself in the All-Star consideration. They have a tough schedule coming up though. Milwaukee's playing better. OKC, Boston, have New York as well. So that 500 record might be a little bit tight, but they're not going to be easy out. That team
Yeah.
as well should play hard on defense. They're still going to play hard on defense, but yeah, the offense is going to be very tough to come by if Jalen Suggs is going to be your main option.
Yeah.
But you'll see how the young guys step up. They saw Goga Batasa had a great game from the other day as well. So you'll see if someone else can step up and help carry the load. But yeah, it's going to be tough for them going forward. But yeah, if Paul comes by in the next couple of weeks, yeah, they could weather the storm, given how rough the East is as well. Yeah, you're always in the game,
Yeah.
no matter how bad you start.
Yeah, because really and truly, besides Boston and Cavs,
Yeah.
Magic is 17-9, Knicks at 14-9, And then they got the Heat at fifth at 12 and 10. And Milwaukee now 12 and 11. So, and below them is Hawks at 13 and 12. And then Brooklyn is spot with 10 and 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some 500 teams after that. Yep.
Yeah, so it's really, they just need to keep their head above water. I don't know if they can keep it without the both stars out, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
As you
they should
said,
stay in the top six.
Yeah,
hey, as you said, they still play hard on D. Problem is they will have to play harder because the offense will be kind of short, and then you don't want to end up having another injury because you're playing that hard. Right? So that's a real ticklish situation. But I also want to talk about our favorite team in the East, which is the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks seem to be now, going in the right direction, let's say. They are 12 and 11, right behind the Heat, who's 12 and 10. And really, there are 8 games out of first place. This is not really that bad. Having started with, that poorly. My issue with them though is by the time the playoff comes around, will Giannis and Dame still have enough left to really have a deep playoff run? What do you think there, Alan?
Yeah, I think they should. I mean, Giannis is in great form right now. And he's trying to put on an MVP type campaign. So I think Giannis will already come playoff time and seems to expand his game some more. His mid range is on another level now, it seems. So he's mainly a 1-level scorer for the most part, but he's just so hard to stop. But if he's a legitimate 2-level scorer now, playing the whole Wizards championship run, gonna be tough. They're gonna be a tough out. But the chemistry between he and Dame seems to be improving now. So both those guys are hitting at the same time. Lillard's no back. I still think he's the key to taking them to that elite contender level. And obviously, wild card is always Doc. I mean, that coaching card is still very important, and that is always going to be a bit of a wild card where Doc is concerned. He's good. He's good during the regular season. Going to help them probably get good records. So, I'm not sure if they're still going to be able to crack the top 4. Maybe the injuries to the Magic, and if Knicks have any significant injuries going forward, they could potentially crack that top 4. But yeah, the reservations you have about them, I think mainly in the playoffs is going to show up. We had them pegged as a second round team last week, right? So
yeah.
What about you? Once they don't go up 3-1, then it should be all right. So what about you, Keelan? What do you think about the Bucks? Our favorite team.
Once again, NBA Santel is undefeated. Right? My thing about the Bucks is I agree with a lot of what Alan said. My thing with the Bucks is at this point is about the playoffs, right? I'm not saying that the regular season doesn't matter, but Giannis for the last 2 years has been dinged and he has had to miss games in the playoffs. They are not a contender without Giannis. Point blank, doesn't make any sense trying to spin it. Without Giannis, they are not a contender, right? So I don't want to say it doesn't matter because like if Giannis plays very well in the regular season but gets hurt at the end and then he can't play, then all of it would have been for naught. I'm not saying the regular season doesn't matter, but you just kind of have to wait and see if Giannis is healthy. As Alan said, the partnership between him and Dame seems to be improved a lot. Chris Middleton is also back. Can he stay healthy? If they are healthy going into the playoffs, I say second round ceiling is. I think the second round is their ceiling. I still think so, but they'd be a tough out for anybody if they're healthy, right? It'd be a tough, maybe 6, even 7-game series in the second round. However, the biggest thing is injuries. Are they gonna be healthy? It's starting to get to the point, like how people were at the point with Kawhi. It's like, it's not if he, it's like, when he can be healthy, when he can be hurt, right? So you're hoping that's not the case with Giannis.
Okay, well, that's the East. The East is fairly interesting, I must admit. I'm still really shocked. Not really shocked, but I'm really, surprised by the Cavaliers and the play and Orlando Magic. I really feel that they have done really well for teams that are, well, we always thought the Cavs were there and thereabouts. It's just that they were always a little unhealthy. But the Magic really surprised a lot of people. We'll see what happens going forward. It's not going to be easy road, but yeah, let me see what happens going forward. Then become
People underestimate coaching, and that Cavaliers coaching change seemed
no,
to make a
no.
big
I
difference.
I
Oh
don't I,
yeah, I
I
actually
don't
forgot this.
underestimate coaching whatsoever. Believe me,
Doc
man.
Rivers. Well, Doc
Some
Rivers is
people do,
our
yes.
well, Doc Rivers is our favorite coach, so we definitely
Yeah, we don't underestimate coaching whatsoever.
Indeed.
Thanks. But now we go to the West. And in the West, just as surprising as the East, we see the Memphis Grizzlies now, like they're really now starting to put everything together and they're really doing, doing good things. I'm also impressed with the Houston Rockets. It shows that Udoka is really a good coach. He just needs to make sure he keeps his zip up on his pants. But apart from that, he is decent coach. When it comes to preparing, having young players and getting them ready for series and really getting a lot of confidence. I don't think anybody expected the Rockets would be this high, but they are playing well.
Yeah.
And if they continue to play this well, they'll be top four. But our favorite team, well, my favorite team at this point is the Grizzlies. I like to see the Grizzlies play. Ja Morant, he said that he wasn't dunking anymore. And then went off one day.
The best dunks of the season.
So let's give some love to the Memphis Grizzlies. And what do you think? I will start with you, Alan. What do you think about the Grizzlies?
Yeah, I think the Grizzlies are doing pretty well. I think some of the time they had to spend without Ja, without the stars, allowed him to build out the roster. A lot of those guys lowering the rotation now, it really helped them quite a bit. So right now they're not. I think most of those guys aren't playing more than 30 minutes a game. The coach is really keeping their minutes down, helping to preserve them for the long run, knowing they'll have a lot of injuries, and the depth is really showing and really coming through, helping them a lot. Just to touch on the Rockets a bit, yeah, I actually was pretty impressed with the Rockets. They are playing a little bit differently. As you know, everyone is playing high 3-point volume, particularly seeing what the Celtics have done. The Rockets, their 3-point volume is a bit lower. I think it's one of the lowest in the league. They're like hitting the offensive boards pretty hard. They're doing a good job drawing fouls, getting the line as well. So they're playing a little bit different. And they have a little baby Jokic on that roster, which is very similar play style. So yeah, I really like what Udoka is doing there in Houston as well. So yeah, those are two young teams that with two good young coaches that seem to be doing some good things in the US.
Yeah. Yes. I just think Udoka just have to, just keep, coaching and is coaching.
Take the basketball.
Yeah. So once he keep coaching basketball, we should be fine. So what about you, Keelan? What do you think about this dynamic West?
Yeah, in terms of the Rockets, that was one of the things that we were talking about last week about the 3-point shooting. Sengun is not a known 3-point shooter, neither is Manson, right? So instead of just jacking 10 trees a game, as Alice says, they do things different to work with the skill set of the players that they have, right? That's what I mean by good coaching. Like, don't just shoot threes just because, right? Like, you have personnel, try to work with the personnel and the skill set that you have, right? So Rockets are doing a good job so far. Grizzlies, as Alan said, that time away, like that time last year that they didn't have Ja was really a blessing. They still don't even have guy who played really well, who broke up for them last year, Gigi Jackson, right? I think he's still hurt. But they have some players this year that also stepping up. Scottie Pippen Jr., he's averaging 11 points. Santi Aldama averaging 13 and 7.5. And Jalen Wells, their rookie, is averaging 11 points per game. Zaidi is also averaging 11. I think he's injured right now. I can't remember. So exactly, right? Right. And the team is also balanced in terms of they don't have like Ja averaging like 28 and things. Ja's averaging 21.78. He's not even the leading scorer. It's actually Jaren Jackson who the leading scorer on the team. And funny enough, I still think that they possibly have a slightly better gear because Desmond Bain is actually having a down year, right?
Yep.
Last couple of years, he's been averaging roughly 22 points per game on very good efficiency. And right now, he's only averaging like 14 points per game, right? And it is just, I'm not even sure what it is. Like, I think it might just be a slow start. So if he gets, I'm not saying that he has to average 20, but if he jumps that from 14 to about 18, 19, closer to where he usually averaged, that is probably another jump that they can take because he is their best, I think, what you would call 3-level score, right? He's somebody that can create in mid-range, attack the basket, shoot threes. Obviously, Ja is explosive at the rim, not as consistent at three, but still can't they can hit threes. So I think that is another level that they can go to. And if Ja can once again hit dunks like what he said, like it was so funny because I think either a commentator or I was reading over the quote because I was watching the game. And as soon as I heard that, I said that Ja drove off the baseline and reversed. And I was like, he did no way.
Over 7 foot. Over
I
7
was like, and he did it so calm. I was like, all right, he might just either be trolling or or he just think he's smart or something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
He's
Ja
really
is
exciting.
like
I mean,
he's very excited.
They watch him, you gotta expect, you expect the unexpected.
Something.
But he did make a point though. Sometimes he gets hit, especially when he's at that height. And then he comes down the line, something he gets a foul, but even if he gets a foul, they end up, picking a little niggle or something.
Yeah.
I just think that he has to just watch how he operates in traffic.
Yeah.
That dunk that he had, although it was between two big guys, really and truly he made the what we'll call the best route. It's trying to get
he went away.
He sighted him.
He kind of went a little bit to the side. Yeah, that at that point that you made, Terry, is actually very important because I remember a couple of people Dwayne Wade talked about him having to learn how to land to avoid picking up further injuries. And I even watched a video a couple I think a year or so ago that was talking about what maybe led to Tracy McGrady picking up some injuries. He kind of used to land bad. They used to line like one leg straight, like in terms of learning how to actually fall down. So like if Jack can actually avoid some of that and maybe learn how to fall down and avoid that can actually really help him out.
Yeah. I think they will be good. But then you remember our favorite team or our second favorite team, which is the Golden State Warriors. There were like in top. They went on a 5-game streak.
Yeah.
Things starting now to really simmer out. I don't think they are a contender. I just think they will play well. Probably get to maybe the second round, maybe. But I don't think that they are right now a contender. However, the rumors are that the Golden State Warriors looking around to pair Steph and another superstar. I don't know who they will have to give up for that, but depending on who they have to give up for that or who they really get, then because although you say another superstar gonna make sense. I don't think they could go for another small guy. They will go if somebody like
they gotta be a wing. It gotta be a wing.
A wing and a big wing too. It can't be
like
a 6'3"
like a 6'7", 6'8" guy.
It gotta be somebody big and somebody
somebody like LeBron James, because that was who they were supposed to be going after last
Yeah,
season.
last year or something.
They were
Yeah.
supposed to go after LeBron James, and they were going after Larry Marketing. So,
I think Larry Marketing made sense for them.
Marketing made sense for them, but I don't
but
think they can handle his price tag anymore. So
well,
Shit.
they struggle on that, and I think part of what Kerr is doing might be part of the plan too. He's a bit of mastitis right now, playing everybody in the roster, maybe showcasing everyone. He's starting Kaminga now. Maybe try to show teams, hey, this is a star level player.
They're trying to up that value.
You know,
interesting.
Take a look at our wares and see what you
Teams
may
do
like.
that, you know. Like teams really do that. Like when they have like when you see somebody who probably wasn't starting or playing as much minutes, and then all of a sudden you see them start playing, like that's the thing. Like teams actually try to up or raise the value. So it's like, hey, we got somebody that's good, you know, like you could use them on your team. Like what Alan is saying is an actual thing. Like teams really do that.
Yeah, but
I think that's what's happening.
I think they have a good group though. I think they have, but the problem would be is how the person that they will try to get and what would be the needs of that team. Because really and truly, anything coming from them is small. So the needs of that team will have to be that they, for example, like somebody who like Caps, who got two big guys, and they're still playing two big guys together, but it's showing that when they play one-on-one, it working out a little bit better for them. So they might take a role and say, okay, let me see if we get another little guy that can shoot. Kaminga and Sam Moody and, you know, Levi Lego, one of the big guys. Probably. But even that big guy will not be a superstar, really. That would just be another, like, you know, mid-level player. So I don't know who they're going to try to get, but it will be interesting in the West. I still feel some of the teams in the West, like the Nuggets, I think they're going to do something. Lakers, I really don't think. I think Lakers going to start to make better decisions when LeBron retire. Right now, they are trying to appease a 40-year-old man. And I'm saying, it got to come to a time where, you know, you got to start seeing it right now on the wall. And really and truly, right there really is on the wall now. You can see that LeBron now, for the time, has really caught up. He will have games, he will still score 30 because he's good, that good. But as far as I see it, he will not be. I can't see them going any further. Probably make the playoffs, make the 8, but I don't know if they were going for. I don't see them beating Timberwolves in a playoff series.
Nah.
Even
somebody actually says something about Braun. They said people have been trying to get help to like get that next star to help Braun. The conversation right now, and this is once again not a diss to Braun because he's a 40-year-old man.
Yeah.
But the conversation now should be getting that star to replace Braun or like have Braun a little lower on the totem pole, like because as we said, he's 40 years old. Like at some point, it has to stop. He can't be that good forever.
I don't care how much Bobart Chambers
exactly.
Right
Yeah.
at some point, it go and the point starting to look like no, and I don't think that he wants to be an ordinary player. You understand? I mean, like at the end of people's careers, where
he probably retired
holding on
before he.
I don't think that he really wants to do that. So,
although I don't think the issue is really the Lakers trying to appease Braun. Really, I mean, I think the original thing was when they traded for Russell Westbrook. They gave up Kuzma, Harold, KCP, first round pick that turned out to be Isaiah Johnson, who's on Indiana right now. A nice big will actually fit a nice big will fit well in the Lakers right now. Probably. I think they gave up too much talent in that trade. Maybe to appease Braun and AD at the time, because I think they both really wanted Westbrook. Yeah. That was allegedly the deal that Lincoln wanted to do. I think that was really the original sin, and they have not been able to recoup talent after that. So I think they have been trying. There's been some mates with guys like Austin Reeves and Hachimura. Those have worked out, but they still don't. The roster still isn't built well enough. There's some talented roster, but it's not quite good enough. So I think you have some roster issues.
Definitely.
I think after that trade for Westbrook, I think that's really where it started, and they've never been able to recover from that. So I don't think you're going to be able to replace LeBron. I mean, he is still playing at all NBA level. He was all NBA last season. He's not as good this season so far, but he's still playing at a very high level. He's still probably a top 20, top 30 player in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
So to have that period with Russell West, to have that period with Anthony Davis, who, well, up until recently was playing at MVP level, I think the issue is trying to build out the roster around them. And with the amount of salaries and cap restrictions they have right now, I think that's their real main issue. That really has Pelinka kind of handcuffed. And I think it really goes back to that Russell Westbrook trade years ago.
Yeah,
I'm
I also
sorry, but
I have a basic issue. Well, you know, I was looking at somebody was reporting, and they say that a lot of people go down to Lakers to die. And they mention people like the Kendrick Nunn,
yeah, Vincent knowing
Montrezl Harrell. Montrezl Harrell is actually out of the league.
Yeah.
Lonnie Walker Jr. is out of the league. Lonnie Walker, yeah.
Yeah,
The fourth.
the fourth. Yeah,
Right.
the fourth, yeah.
He's out of the league. And Gabe Vincent, who was really doing well at the Miami Heat, he looks like he looked like the second coming of
He look like a G League player at this point. He look like a G League player.
Right? Like he just don't look, he don't even know if he don't even look like if he could play basketball. So
Yeah.
I think you may be right by stressing it back to Westbrook. But I also think it was a bad trade. The Westbrook trade was a bad trade. I know that. You know that. I think Ninja Man didn't know that. That was a bad trade, right? Because if Bron got to keep the ball in his hand,
apparently not.
if Bron has to keep the ball in his hand, then Westbrook is like he's like a pawn, right? Like he's just going to get, I really thought that they made a humongous error by being Westbrook.
Yeah.
If they were being Westbrook and they already had the pieces and he was coming off the bench and marshalling the second unit and that sort of stuff.
Something, yeah.
But the problem is the talent they give up, man. KCP, Kuzma.
Yeah, like KCP helped the Nuggets win
Denver
exactly.
Actually, Denver got rid of KCP and no struggling.
I know Denver struggling, exactly.
Yeah. So
and Caruso as well was an indirect victim. He was in the trade, but because of the money they brought home, they couldn't re-sign him either.
Yeah.
So I don't think people appreciate the amount of talent they lost to bring on Westbrook, thinking this third star would have made a major impact. And the three key high-level elite role players they lost, they have not been able to come close to replacing those guys.
Nope.
As you said, the Kendrick Nunns and Gabe Vincents, they just haven't compared. And I don't think there's any way they're going to be able to replace those guys or that type of production.
They got blown up. That's the only way at this point. Like if they have to kind of start over. I'm sorry. Like my thing with AD was always, I don't think AD is a number one, right? And that in terms of offensive talent, like defensively, he's definitely a one, but he kind of reminds me of Kevin Garnett. And I always thought that KG was not a one offensively, definitely a one defensively. But I thought he had his limitations in terms of being a leading scorer on a team, like on a championship winning team. Like
even his prime in
Minnesota?
With the Timberwolves, if he had better talent around him, you don't think he could have led that team to a championship? You don't think he was that type of number one option?
I'm not sure. It's tough to say. I know the talent wasn't the greatest, but like just doing a deep dive on KG videos, because I watch a good set of videos on KG. It was kind of, I think offensively was where it really where he was like a step down. And like not a big step, but you have to be on that level to take care of the Shaqs, the Tim Duncans, and that sort of thing. So I just think that that is what kind of started, and I think that is the case in my opinion for AD. Like some games, like you watch, and it's just like
He
AD
didn't convince you early in the season that he could be that guy.
no, because I didn't think it would last. I honestly didn't think it would last
Mm.
because I've seen this before. I've seen AD be the guy for a good stretch and then just disappear, just disappear. I need to see it. I will only believe it when I officially see it for an entire season.
Okay.
Real
Anyways,
talk.
I will let you. I will let you there because you really hail for the San Antonio Spurs and
Hey,
they have their own issues.
hey, what
So
did I? We got
The
Wemby.
bias
of
involved there,
course,
you think?
of course, of course, we cannot leave unless we have pick five. Last week was let's see. Last week was two people at 3 and 5 and Alan at 4 and 5. Alan had a fairly good week. The other two people who have no average week. Right. So now on that's tomorrow. That's Dallas at OKC.
Ooh.
Dallas at
Hmm.
OKC.
I give it OKC. I pick the home team.
Yeah, me too. Go OKC.
Dallas been playing well of late though, so that's still kind of a toss up.
I would
Yeah,
go
7
OKC.
games in a row. So
Yeah.
they're the hot team.
On Wednesday we have GSW, which is Golden State Warriors versus at Houston, and that is in the NBA Cup.
What Warriors seem to have the Rockets number. They gave me the Warriors. They just can't beat the Warriors. I know, boy.
So you going with the Warriors? What about you, Alan?
I talk to the young guys today, so I gotta go Rockets.
Yeah, Rockets. I don't know who to go to, so I will go with the Warriors. Thursday, Toronto at Miami.
Mm,
I
mm.
game early. I game Miami.
I'll go the Heat too.
I'm going with the Heat.
Let me swing on the Raptors. You never know. Scotty Barnes back.
You swinging on the Raptors.
Man,
Friday,
here's the day.
Brooklyn at Memphis.
Memphis.
Yep, Grizz.
I think I go with Memphis too. And then on Sunday, Minnesota at San Antonio Spurs.
Ah, come on.
Ooh.
Come on. If Wemby playing, Wemby could not be playing. You already know who we're picking.
Oh, you want Alan?
Yeah, I'll go Soda on this one.
Okay, you going
They've been playing a little better of late.
I ain't go with you. I ain't go with Minnesota too.
Okay, so that ends as a win for me.
Okay. I want I want in a couple seconds both of you to let me know what is your take this week. Who you getting a shout out to for this coming week?
My rookie, Stephon Castle from the Spurs.
That Fran
like,
Castle for instance,
yeah,
that is your guy. What about you,
yeah.
Alan?
Cooper Flag for Indiana being so bad that they're probably going to be in the seat space. So Cooper Flag, Tankathon. So yeah, Cooper Flag, Tankathon. Here we come.
Well, mine is Scottie Pippen Jr. I think he's really playing well, and he has a good role model. His father was the best second man in the business, and it seems that he has really caught on with that, and he's becoming a very good, role player, a solid role player for this team.
Oh look, a good NBA son. Huh.
All right, so that's it for our court session. For right now, the court is adjourned.